stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. To those guests who've just joined us, welcome. Our next stop is the Magic Kingdom. For those of you standing, please hold on to the handrails throughout our journey and stay clear of the door. Stay clear of the door. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching our station at the entrance to Main Street, USA.
Welcome aboard the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. This is Justin Monorail, and no, your ears did not deceive you. That is the updated version of the Monday Morning Monorail intro. I had lost it for a while, and now I found it, and it's back, part of the show once again. You're welcome to everyone. I think it's got a nice vibe. I enjoy it, so I hope you do too. We are here for episode number, what is it? 212 of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. It's July 29th, 2024, if you're listening as the episode drops. And I've got my two monorail co-pilots here with me today. We are back together again, and we are going to drop another delicious, tasty morsel of a Monday Morning Monorail episode today. And speaking of tasty morsels, let's welcome that morsel in right now. It's Landon the Dawsdone. Landon, welcome to the monorail.
I didn't know exactly where you were going with this. Hi, everybody. Coming from the Isolation Station of Love. It's me. It's the DOZ, Landon the Dawsdone, and it's a Monday morning. You know what that means. Hi, Jay. How you doing? And I know we're not using video this week. That's a tease. But I would like to inform everybody that I am currently dressed as the living embodiment of the Dawes Does Disney logo. I know you're going a little bit retro, breaking out the updated Monday Morning Monorail theme. I also am going retro, going a little Dawes Does Disney feel right now. So there's that.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, technically, Landon, you are always the living embodiment of Dawes Does Disney.
That is true, but like right now, it's like beard is fully present, long hair is fully boomed out, and the hat is turned backwards, ready to rock. So if you saw me, it's like that is Dawes Does Disney or Chubby Jesus. So and
prominently featured on the Living with the Landon logo.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah. So the synergy is beautiful. I love it. Like everything's coming together.
I'm all about synergy, Jay. If anybody knows anything about me.
It's all flowing together. It's all coming together. And speaking of coming together, we are coming together as a full strength podcast hosting group because the one that was missing last week, everyone's favorite, I believe Aurora might have said the cutest of them all. It's Stephers. Stephers, welcome back to the monorail. How you doing?
Hello. Let's be honest. The cutest one of us all is Gimli and Zoe.
Well, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. So, we can all agree to that. Yeah.
Though I appreciate the sentiment, it is false. I will not steal their thunder. But hello, it's me. I'm back. I went on vacation, but now I'm here, and then I'm going to go on vacation again, so they'll have to do this again without me, but then it'll be okay, because I'll be back.
Yeah, Stephers is using all of her PTO time from the Monday Morning Monorail podcasts.
I was going to say my unemployment PTO. I was like, where are you going with this?
I was going to say, you get PTO for
this? Yeah. I forgot to flip that switch for Landon. He never started earning his PTO. I used up all of mine forever when the Monday Morning Monorail podcast took a break for a couple years. And Landon took over.
We tried.
So
it's okay.
Yeah. But
when corporate decided to go a different way. Yeah. Apparently that wasn't part of your severance package.
No. I got paid out my $0 and then there was no PTO. But we're moving forward. We're not looking back. And I'm excited to have you all with me again. Stephers, I made the mistake of saying you were in Washington. I kept saying it. I said it multiple times, but in fact, you were in Oregon. Did you meet any fans and did you sign any autographs?
You know what's really funny? So no, but I did plug the show because I did find somebody who likes theme parks in my travels. And so we had like a whole little cute discussion. So I did plug the show. So if you're listening, hello, it's me. I'm now on the internet and in your ears and no longer in
do
your
you
state.
remember the name of this individual?
We did not exchange names. So
Okay.
it was like one of those, like you're having just a conversation and it just kind of comes up and then, there was a lot of wine consumed. Okay, listen, I did my best.
It's vacation, Jay. Get off her back.
My best.
Hey, you always got to be plugging. Always be plugging.
I also learned that I like sours, like the beer that I don't like beer, but like I like sours. So like, look at me spreading my wings and flying.
So proud of you, Stephers.
Thank you. I patted myself on the back for that one. So.
I'm giving you a virtual pat on the back. And if you are that individual that Stephers met over this last week, let us know. Say hello and welcome to the Monorail fam. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. You are now, whether you like it or not, you are a member of the Monday Morning Monorail family, and you're stuck. There's no getting out now. There's no turning back. Let's just join hands and move forward together as we put together another fun episode of the Monday Morning Monorail. We've got news from Disney and Universal. I don't know if I have any SeaWorld news today. There is some SeaWorld news. Yep,
just a smidge. Just a smidge.
We got one.
And
then we got one. Yeah, nice Ghostbusters. Yeah. And then at the end of the show, we're going to do a fun little segment where following up on the conversation Landon and I had last week about which park has the most attractions that you're into or you love the most. We went through the painstaking effort, each one of us, to rank the Walt Disney World specifically attractions 1 to 25, our top 25, even though there's more than that. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to be fun, very fun to talk about, especially maybe even discuss the ones that were left off our top 25. So can't wait to get to that. But before we do, we got to get to the news. So let's do it. Let's dive into the headlines of the week. That's right, dreamers. We are back again with the headlines from the Central Florida theme parks. We've scoured the internet. We've gone to all the websites and we've pulled down the important news articles so you don't have to. And now we're bringing them to you here. We got to start with something that's kind of a tradition here on the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. And that is, of course, at our favorite park, Disney's Animal Kingdom. I'm speaking for all of us right now. I don't know if Stephers and Landon sign off on that, but my favorite park.
It's generally where I start any trip down to Disney. So, it's definitely in my top 4. So I will say that.
Okay. At least you didn't say top 6, Frank.
We see you, Dillos. We
see you. So there were some animal babies that were born at Disney's Animal Kingdom. And traditionally, when that occurs, we make a call to Walt Disney World, to the caretakers of those animals, and we request, and just one time, we would love for this to happen, but we've got to get one of these animals named after us. I mean, we love the park so much. We sing the praises of the Animal Kingdom, and we love the cute little animal babies. So, of course, this is going to be no different. Apparently, there have been 4, not 1, but 4 new zebra foals born at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Aziza is the mom, and this is her second time welcoming a baby. Welcome one baby on July 16th. And then, okay. I was going to, in my head, I'm thinking Aziza had all 4. That would be insane if a zebra had 4 babies. I don't know if that's ever happened.
Wow. I mean, we're not zebra baby experts, but that would be quite the labor Aziza went through.
Yeah, no. Aziza just had one. Asha had her first on July 8th. Juno and Kada. Juno is another experienced mom and gave birth to a baby girl. And then Pinay, the oldest of the new foals, was born on June 13th. But, under the watchful eye of Mother Heidi. So I can see we've got quote unquote names assigned to these babies, but can just one of them, please. Could we please name it Monday Morning Monorail Podcast the Zebra? Just one of them. even if it's a nickname, just let us know that, sure, okay, that's the nickname of this particular zebra, and we'll accept that. And then I'll go visit that zebra, and that'll be our little adopted zebra child, and we'll love it so much. But
we'll make zebra-sized merchandise in our store, and we'll bring it to Monday Morning Monorail podcast, The Zebra, when we go visit it at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Mm-hmm.
We will. I promise we will. As with most animal babies, these little zebra foals look so cute, and I would love to see them. Right now, of course, they're getting their legs under them, and they're not out on the safari just quite yet. Actually, it looks like at least one of them, Pinay,
one was born at the lodge.
Is at the lodge. Yeah. I guess the other three are at the Animal Kingdom Park, but yeah, we've got one at the lodge and three at the park. So we'll be seeing those guys soon, and I can't wait to see them, and I can't wait to greet them with their official name, Monday Morning Monorail Podcast, The Zebra.
Yep. Once again, we start that campaign, and we ask you, the lovely listener, to back us in that campaign. But on a more serious note, I always think these announcements from Disney are super awesome, because this just once again goes to prove not only is Animal Kingdom an awesome theme park, Animal Kingdom's also a really cool zoo and a helper, for the lack of a better term, for conservation of animals, because the Hartman's mountain zebra is a species currently listed as vulnerable. So the fact that Disney is able to add 4 new foals into the world, I think that's great for what Disney's able to do once again. Yep.
Conservation, protection. Disney's doing a good job with that. It was a passion of Walt's, and I love to see that effort is continued at the Animal Kingdom and Animal Kingdom Lodge. So, again, can't wait to meet them. So I have a correction from last week, if we want to get to this really quick. We were talking about Tiana's Bayou Adventure being part of the extended evening hours, and I believe probably while we were recording, WDW Magic released an article that corrected that and said that as soon as they put the article out, Disney seemingly removed it from the offerings listed for extended evening hours at Magic Kingdom. The only thing I can figure that's going on here is just because maybe with the technical problems that Tiana has had during its launch, maybe they just don't want to overdo it, and maybe they're shutting it down so they can do some maintenance at night or whatever. But maybe it'll be back. But for now, it's been removed. So if you come here for your theme park facts and to help you plan your day in the parks, I wanted to just correct the fact that last week we said you could do this, and we told you how to do it. Like, you could join the virtual queue at 6 p.m. and all this kind of stuff if you're at a deluxe resort. And so never mind. Is all I want to say.
Well, I want to put a caveat on what you're saying. When we were talking about this, we did say this has been an on again, off again, kind of a will they, won't they, when it came to Tiana and after hours and stuff like that. So we admitted it's like Disney had wavered on it. So when we did report it, it was up and running. So I mean, like, when we give you stuff that's happening in the park, we are going with the most accurate news as we have it. But yeah, it is now off, though. We do want to point out, as of now, it is only available during regular park hours and the upcoming hard ticket events for Halloween and Christmas. So if you do have a ticket for Not So Scary and Very Merry for the Halloween and Christmas seasons, as of now, this recording, July 28th, 2024, you'll be able to ride Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I expect that eventually maybe it will be added back to extended evening hours, but at least for now, it's not included just in that particular time frame for the people who get to take advantage of that at night in the Magic Kingdom. And don't forget, that's going to be switching to Hollywood Studios in short order anyway, once we get to the Halloween season. And I mean the extended evening hour perk, of course. This past week, actually, starting July 24th, Genie Plus was retired. Lightning Lane had launched. We talked all about it. We've got a blog on the Morning Monorail website. Go to morningmonorail.com. You can read all about Lightning Lane. There's plenty of information out there. The big thing that I wanted to share was, as of launch, it looked like the prices were pretty similar to buying Genie Plus for the day, depending on the park that you start at. On the 24th, Magic Kingdom was $29 for Lightning Lane Multipass. Epcot was $21, Animal Kingdom $18, and then Hollywood Studios was $26. And those prices, just looking ahead, seem to be maybe the highest in the near future for now.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So I don't know.
At least through August 14th. Through August 14th, the prices at Magic Kingdom are going to be between 25 and 27. Epcot's going to be, looks like 18 to 19. Animal Kingdom 16 to 17, and then Hollywood Studios is going to be $22 to $24. Again, that is through August 14th.
Right.
I have a question.
Yes, Stephers.
And I missed this. So if y'all, obviously, if you haven't read the beautiful blog that Justin put up, go do that. But we're strictly like East Coast, right? So like everyone, most of the people in our circle focus on East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
This does apply to the West Coast as well? Question mark. First question, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think they're going to switch over.
My second question is does anyone know what that even looks like for the West Coast? Because you can pre-buy a Genie, or you could pre-buy the Genie Plus add-on. You know what I'm saying? Which is what I did. But I'm going in 3 weeks, which is now this new system. So then it's like, are they automatically converting your Genie Plus add-on that you've already purchased? I will obviously like figure out these answers because I need to figure out these answers. But like, I wonder who else is in the same boat as me, because obviously I don't know anything, and I feel like they threw a lot of information at you.
Mm-hmm.
But like it was kind of just like new information of how this new system's going to work, but not necessarily the conversion from the old system, if that makes any sense. Like other than just like a software interface change. So I'm very interested on like how that works, but I will update y'all because I did purchase. Everyone has told me that Genie Plus is worth it on the West Coast. So I purchased it, but now I'm like, okay, how do I even utilize it? How do I even know that it's there other than the fact that I know it's on the ticket that I bought?
Mm-hmm.
So something I struggled with, but I'll update y'all on how that goes. But that's just something, because I'm assuming people could do that for here too, the East Coast. So like, did it automatically convert? How many question marks do you have on your brain? Because literally me. So,
I think that's a very fair question. I think it might be a question that Tom and Michelle of Hyperion Adventures podcast could probably help us with, because they dive into the Disneyland news a little more than we do. So Tom, Michelle, if you know how that's going to work, let us know. But Steffers, I could see one of two scenarios maybe happening. One might be that you just get refunded for your Disney Genie Plus purchase. Mm-hmm. And that's like, you get that money back and then you could apply that to Lightning Lane Multipass. Or like you said, maybe they just go ahead and sort of grandfather you into the Multipass for the day. I don't know though, because there could be people, I don't know. To me, I do think Multipass is a better system.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess there's people who might feel like, well, I wanted the Genie Plus, but I don't want Multipass. I don't know. It could happen.
It could. That's a good point.
And Tom and Michelle might have the answer, but this might be more of a question for you to call the West Coast equivalent of a 407 number and ask a
You're
a cast
so funny.
member.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the area code is on the left coast.
In my head, it was like, you should talk to a cast member, but you went a further step and said the 407.
But you knew what I was talking about, didn't you?
I absolutely did, and that makes it even better. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. I think I will. I mean, I know that a lot of us are East Coasters and everything like that, but I do think that that's an important kind of like, especially with it being so new, I would like to have that answer and then share that answer with you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that, and I will update you after I contact the people I need to contact.
I'm so tempted to like Google right now, but you told me you could hear me typing, so I don't want to do that. But
you could mute and I could talk, because like the reason I said it's like contact a cast member, it's like your trip is coming up, A, so soon, B, this is a relatively new piece of technology. You don't want to show up at Disneyland and be left out in the cold. That's the only reason I say it's like maybe ask the people that work there. That's the reason I went that route. That's just me though.
Yeah, I also speaking of Tom and Michelle, our beautiful, beautiful West Coast pros, I a lot of people recommended this system to me, but like I don't know what I'm actually gonna use it for. So I'm like very much like what like some people are like rope drop this because it's not on this, but then okay, so I rope drop this, but then what do I actually use the system for? So like there's like a whole melding of the minds that needs to happen. But in terms of me even having it, I will, because the last time I checked, they still had that tip board thing that like nobody actually wants, but like they kept it anyway. So that like I was like, oh, maybe like I could like look at it, and they have all the attractions that are on the path, like the multi-pass or whatever it was under.
Yeah.
But it didn't like give me any inclination if like I was one of those people. Like it doesn't say like you can book this in X amount of days or something helpful. So I will talk to a cast member. Is the moral of the story? I'm so sorry for my long-winded situation here.
It's fine. It's a podcast. Being long-winded is what we do.
Yeah. Absolutely, and no apology required.
By the way, in addition to Lightning Lane multi-pass pricing we talked about for each of the parks, there are also Lightning Lane single passes available for the following attractions. Tron Light Cycle Run for $20 a head. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, $11. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind for $15. Star Wars Rise of the Resistance at $22. And finally, Avatar Flight of Passage coming in at $14 a person. Does any of those prices tickle the proverbial fancy for any of y'all?
It's expensive for a single ride. But if you want that peace of mind and a guarantee that you're going to get on one of those attractions, then, you know, you're the family coming from where were they? Somewhere in the Midwest.
Colorado was it Colorado that Chapek was always jonesing after.
Yeah.
Can I hot take controversial statement that I'm about to make? But you know, whatever. I don't think Mine Train should be on Lightning and the single pass anymore. I think we need to not do that. I think $11 to ride that ride is a ridiculous amount of money.
I agree. Yeah. But it is the cheap. It's the cheapest, right? It's the cheapest.
Yep.
I'm a little shocked that Tron's $20 and Avatar Flight of Passage is $14.
That's not. I would not
also,
spend.
I think the reason Seven Dwarfs is on there is because it's a kids ride. Like that is like that's the ride that kids want to ride, right?
That's valid, very valid. I so thoroughly disagree. I think like Guardians at 15. I don't even know if I would spend 15 for Guardians. I love Rise. $22.
Yeah, I am not paying $22 for Rise of the Resistance, especially now that's on standby queue.
You're like, I don't know. It's not. It's like, one of those things. I think I've reached a point like I could skip the ride. Like you know what I mean? Like I would consider Rise or Flight of Passage at 14, but that's only because it's on the lower end of those numbers that we rattled off. But I mean, yeah, it's like I'm probably passing on all five for those price points.
Yeah.
Speaking of, go ahead, Jay.
I was just going to say, for me, I think of it like if you've got, say you're taking people who've never been, or you are a person who travels once every 5 years or whatever it may be. I think that it makes sense for people like that to do it. Unfortunately, it just means it's a more expensive vacation for those people.
Yes.
And that stinks because really we talk about like, Disney sort of like the prices going up, value going down. They're finding ways to squeeze more Disney dollary dues out of all of us. And this is another one of those ways. But I will say that, like, you know, for Father's Day, for example, when I went to Hollywood Studios, I wanted it to be, I didn't want to really worry about anything. And I wanted to have like a nice day with my kids and be able to do all the stuff we wanted to do. And it's been quite a bit since I've gotten to go to Hollywood Studios with both May and McKenna. And so I actually did spring for Rise that day because I wanted us to be able to do it and I didn't want to have to worry about it. And I didn't want to wait in a long line. So I sprung for Rise and I bought Genie Plus for us for that day. And it worked out. We got to do a ton of stuff. We had a great time. And it was one of those things that we always talk about. You're trading money for time. Yep. That's what you're doing. And I wanted to have more time and less wait. And I wanted to be able to enjoy it with less stress. So I was willing to fork over more dollars and have a good Father's Day. So people are going to do that. But it's not something that I'm going to do on a regular basis. Or if I'm going by myself, I would never pay those prices. Right.
Yeah, I get everything you're saying, and I agree with everything you're saying. But on the flip side, it's like spending money for individual Lightning Lane multi-pass, whatever they're calling this. As of now, at the launch of the Lightning Lane multi-pass, there is no additional extra charge for park hopping privileges, which I thought was interesting. So in theory, according to Blog Mickey, you can book your multi-pass at Animal Kingdom, the cheapest theme park. And then if you have a ticket that allows you to park hop over to Magic Kingdom, the most expensive multi-pass theme park, you could then start booking there at Magic Kingdom once you're eligible to start park hopping. So
yes, however, what that means is your first 3 passes have to be at Animal Kingdom.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I said once you're eligible to start hopping.
Well, but yeah. And I exactly. You're right. But what that means is so you book your first 3 ahead of time. Say you get Flight of Passage as your first one. As soon as you use that rolling fourth, you could book at Magic Kingdom, but you're just at the mercy of whatever's available for the rest of the day. But yes, absolutely. You can do that. You just, you're going to miss out, like more than likely, some of the higher demand attractions are either going to be
most definitely
gone or at the end of the day. So that's why I don't. It's funny to me that they're saying they're not charging for park hopping for now. I don't think that's going to change. This is how it was for Genie Plus too. You could go and book Genie Plus for the park that you're starting at, and then park hop and continue to use Genie Plus, and it was different prices based on park. So I don't think that's going to change. I think because I think it'll probably stay that way, but we'll see. Could be totally wrong. I think you've already invested more money in your ticket because you have the park hopping option. So it would shock me if Disney was like, oh, that would really be like sticking it to people.
That's a really good point, actually.
Would it really shock you, Jay? Would it really shock you if Disney started ringing you for more money?
Even though I would say a lot of times what Disney's doing does feel like naked cash grabs, that would absolutely be in your face. This is a naked cash grab.
Nice use of the term naked cash grab, by the way.
It could happen, but I don't think so.
I mean, anything is possible if you just believe.
Also, if they were going to do it, they should have done it at launch because people are going to be much more resistant to now.
People would be furious if they introduced a fee to park hop after they launched it. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I'm sticking to it. I think that Blog Mickey, we can put that to bed. I'm willing to bet my dollary dues that Disney will not charge for Lightning Lane multipass park hopping as an additional add-on. I'll put my money where my mouth is. Blog Disney, I'll give you, or Blog Mickey, I'll give you 5 Disney dollary dues if I'm wrong. 5 big ones. But anyway, I think this is yes, Stephers. What did you find out?
Nope, you can continue. I will circle back.
Okay, I was just going to say I think this is a really good discussion. We actually teed up the fact that we could, as like a final segment of the show in the future, talk about how we would use the multipass at each one of the parks, because there, you have to factor in, other than Animal Kingdom, all 3 parks have like a tier A and tier B. At Animal Kingdom, everything's on the same tier. So how, like, if you had the opportunity to book your multipass and you were booking ahead of time, what would your priority list be for your 3 passes in those parks? So I think that would be a fun thing to chat about. Maybe we can do that whenever you get your Disneyland answers, Stephers.
I actually have my Disneyland answers.
Okay. All right, we're doing it now.
Have you been talking to a cast member this entire time?
I honestly thought it was going to take like 10 years for me to get this answer. Well, I'm going to tell you the answer, but I'm not going to tell you. Oh, I don't know the answer.
How you got it.
Like, I'm not going to. I don't know what I'm going to use it for. However, I do have the answer in terms of the conversion. So I used the app, which is my account's already logged in. So my Lightning Lane multipass has been purchased as an add-on to your ticket, which means that it converted my Genie Plus to it.
Yep. Okay.
Lightning Lane multipass is an add-on option that will let you choose the next available 1-hour arrival window, blah, blah, blah. what I didn't realize is the service also includes unlimited Disney PhotoPass digital photo downloads and a special collection of lenses, whatever. I think that that's worth it, period. Which, yes, I know we've been discussing this thing for a very long time, but that did not process in my noggin.
Mm-hmm.
But that, considering I'm only going to the West Coast probably once, like for a while, that is very...
That's valuable.
Very valuable. Yes, thank you. And then since I'm not staying at a resort, I can only book them the day of my visit once I'm inside the park. And then she gave me a list of... she gave me a link to all the...
So Disneyland, if you're not staying on park, you have to do it day of?
She said you will be able to manage Lightning Lane Multipass on the day of your visit once inside the park. I have attached a link listing the attractions that are included with the Lightning Lane Multipass.
Huh.
Because I asked her, I said, when will I be able to book my passes?
Wow.
So,
Gotta be getting up early, ain't you, Stephers?
Well, on the plus side of me living on the East Coast, let's be honest, my body is going to be like 5 a.m. and it'll be 8 a.m. here and I'll be like golden.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great information. Thank you, Stephers.
I know. I try.
Well, now I can't use that as a follow-up to do our Lightning Lane tier discussion. We'll do it anyway. We'll do it not today, but we'll do it, either sometime in the coming weeks because
report. What do you mean?
No, I meant doing our tier priority list, but yeah.
Ah, yes.
So when do you leave for Disneyland, Stephers?
The week after my birthday. I don't know if I want to say the full dates, but in about 3 weeks I will be going.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. All right. Very good. Yeah. The other thing we have to think about is we got to squeeze in another Fast Pass standby snack break. We got to do some M3 4D. We got all kinds of things we got to get back to. So work. Just quickly, I just wanted to say, so as Disney and Magic Kingdom is doing some refurbishment to the Pirates of the Caribbean, wow, I don't normally say it that way, Pirates of the Caribbean gift shop. It's Caribbean Beach. It's Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know why it's different, but that's how it is.
I just say Pirates. It's fine.
But they're doing a little refurbishment to the gift shop on Pirates. And as they're doing that, they are using Tortuga Tavern as a temporary stop for gifts. And they actually updated the sign to say Tortuga Treasures. There's a little banner hanging over where it used to say Tavern, and now it says Treasures. But that's okay. It looks, it's like a tattered little cloth. It looks appropriate for pirate theming. So it's fine. I walked in there yesterday and kind of walked around and took a look, and it's the same stuff that you saw in the Pirates gift shop. But I don't know necessarily that means this. I have been under the impression the whole time that the Pirate Lounge is going to take over the space previously occupied by Tortuga Tavern. I think that's still true, but this just means they can't start working on that until the gift shop is done with its refurbishment and they shift stuff back. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. It looks like that's still a ways out. Maybe we get some more info on that during D23 coming up.
Which is happening on my birthday. Well, it's the whole weekend, but the big meat and potatoes is on my birthday.
Yep. And I'm hoping we hear a little something and they let us know whether or not we're going to be able to get some rum.
Because we're approaching almost a year of them making that announcement, and since then it's just been it's coming. Mm-hmm. That's it. So it would be nice if we get some more concrete information at this year's D23.
I just want to circle back. Guests who are and are not staying at one of our Disneyland Resort hotels will only be able to manage Lightning Lane Multipass on the day of their visit.
Okay. Interesting.
May the odds ever be in your favor, Stephers.
What's really interesting about that is they always say that Disneyland tends to it caters more to the locals. That's more of a local park, and Disney World is more catering to the transient guests, the people coming from out of town. That to me puts the locals at a real disadvantage at Disneyland because you have no pre-planning. You just have to do it day of, and that makes it tough.
But on the flip side of the coin, they figure, locals are just going to show up, time and time and time again. So, I mean, why would they want to buy the Lightning Lane? And even if they do buy the Lightning Lane, eventually they'll just do everything, right? Because they're going to show up, a dozen 5 times.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. 105. Maybe you're right, though. But
That's some Dawes math right there.
It sort of discourages. Maybe it does like sort of discourage the locals. They know they've got more locals there. And if you don't have that 3-day window like you do here at Walt Disney World, maybe you're less likely to buy it, and it frees it up for people coming from out of town. I don't know. Anyway, who knows why Disney does what they do?
Money. That's why Disney does anything. It's money, Jay.
Oh, you're right. That is it. Hey, and speaking of why does Disney do anything and money and all that, this ties in well to this little note. It is Deadpool and Wolverine week.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Landon, I know you've seen it. I'm going today. I'll be going this afternoon, so I have not seen it yet.
It is so much fun. Yeah, cannot wait to go see it again myself.
But the weirdest thing to me about all this is that Deadpool is actually making appearances in Disneyland, and they've got this whole story time with Deadpool show that they're doing.
What in the world? What in the world?
It's so weird to me. Like, it's very cool. I mean, that's awesome. I'm jealous. Hopefully it'll still be going on, Stephers, while you're there and you get to see Deadpool, maybe do a little meet and greet. But how bizarre. This is not a character for kids.
No.
At all.
But kids love Deadpool. Like when I went to go see not only Deadpool and Wolverine, Deadpool 1 opening night, both times there were very small children in the theater for this movie, and they loved everything that Deadpool was doing. And Deadpool and Wolverine are making appearances in Disneyland. Deadpool makes his entrance on a unicorn in Disneyland. Yeah, into once again story time with Deadpool, where he tells Disney stories, and they are family friendly. I do want to point out, but it's very Deadpool. It's very fourth wall, very, very aware of what's going on.
Right.
What I've seen on social media, I would love to see this in person.
Yeah, it looks great.
So good. It looks so good.
It does. It's just so weird to me. This is like putting Camel Joe on a pack of cigarettes. It's like, hey, kids, here's something that you're going to be. But you really shouldn't watch the movie. But here's something you might like. I don't know. It's just so weird to me.
Which, by the way, that movie is the 6th highest opening day ever at $96 million. Made $205 million domestically, $400 million worldwide, and is the largest R-rating opening ever. But kids, don't go see this movie.
But go watch Deadpool tell you stories at Disneyland.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Whatever. So
Deadpool
weird.
And Wolverine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm jealous. I hope you get to see him, Stephers, and that would be very, very cool.
So does that mean there's going to be like Deadpool merchandise in Disneyland?
I bet there will be.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay, hear me out.
With his guns and swords. You can get him on Main Street, USA.
And he does like a Johnny Depp, and it's really Ryan Reynolds in the suit. I would cry, actually. Yeah.
That would be pretty dope.
That'd be amazing. I actually kind of thought that maybe since it's opening weekend, they might do that. Because hey, Tom Holland did the whole I'm the one in the Spider-Man costume at Disneyland. So, I mean, it's happened. It's happened. Mm-hmm. But that would be really cool. That'd be insane. But that is our Disney news for the day. It is now time to officially go across the Universal with Stephers. Stephers, what have you got for us?
Hello, it's me. Landon, I just want to say, quality job with your voices last week as I was absent during the Universal segment.
I appreciate that.
I'm really glad you didn't try to imitate me. It was more like you were, you were in it for the bit.
I was doing my thing,
I know. I love that. Let's start with the Passholder Appreciation Days. Universal is bringing those back from August 15th to September 30th. Guests can enjoy numerous exclusive benefits, including access to Passholder Nights, a fan favorite event returning for 2 nights, August 16th and 17th at Universal Studios. Passholders can enjoy select attractions and venues throughout the park during the free after... sorry, let me rewind. Pass holders can enjoy attractions and venues throughout the park during the free after hours party, as well as special event offerings like pizza fries at Louis Italian Restaurant, character meet and greets, and a Passholder Nights magnet giveaway. Ooh. Mm-hmm. We love a magnet. My fridge is covered in them. Guests can also receive special discounts on Universal Express passes, mobile food and drink orders, Universal's Great Movie Escape, Volcano Bay Cabanas and premium seating, and more. Complimentary buttons will be available for pickup at the lounge in Toon Lagoon in Islands or the Five and Dime in Studios. And then there is a limited time menu offerings, which, we can list online. There's a cute little cup, and you can also save up to 45% on select rooms at Universal Orlando hotels. Fan favorite. I've never done it.
So, Stephers, last year, after Casey became an official Universal pass holder, we tried to go to the Passholder Appreciation Night. Didn't know you had to pre-register for it. So we showed up. We were in Islands of Adventure. We saw these lines of people. They were lining up to get their wristbands. We got in the back of the line, and then promptly were told you had to have a reservation to do this. So we left. But I am happy to say, yeah, exactly. I'm happy to say we got registered this year, and we will be there the night of the 16th to try this event out. And I am so excited. We're going to go and do all the things, try the foods, and hopefully get those magnets. I think it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm excited to hear your thoughts. I do know that there has been some harsh feedback, including about the reservation system, I think. But overall, I know this is a fan favorite for a lot of people. People get really excited each year, just like they get excited for the garage sale.
Yeah.
So, fun fact,
I will tell you this.
Garage sale.
When the emails came out to sign up for, because Universal sent out the emails. I actually got it this time. When I would click on the button to reserve my spot, it was not taking me to the page to reserve my spot. But then when I finally found the link, Cocktail Bob helped me out because he's going to be going too. I got in queue. I think I joined the queue at, let's say, 10:30 a.m. I didn't get to the front of the line to reserve my spot until 4:30 p.m.
Shoo, Lord.
I'm not kidding. It took that long.
Wow.
Don't know why, but that was kind of wild. But luckily I just had the page up on my screen, and while I was doing other stuff, I was working.
Working.
Yeah. Yeah. If Jay's bosses are listening, he was working.
Yeah, I will say that's more or less feedback that I've heard about. But I'm interested because I will say I sat there, Ticketmaster, bought Taylor Swift tickets, and I sat in that queue till 8, 9 o'clock at night. So it's one of those things where if it's worth it to you, I think it's worth it. But I'm interested to see.
Wait, sorry, I wasn't listening. Is Taylor Swift going to be at pass holder nights?
Yeah.
Yes, Landon. How did you know?
Wow, that's amazing.
From the
Taylor's
Olympics
in her
to
Universal Studios era. Yeah.
Could you imagine? I'd cry.
I think you and a lot of people.
But yeah, super excited for that and to hear how it goes for you, Justin.
Yeah, I will share my feedback.
I also wanted to just kind of say this. It's not a huge thing, but Universal is stepping up their popcorn bucket game. I know we've mentioned these before, but in honor of Halloween Horror Nights, there is going to be a Chucky popcorn bucket. And if nobody has looked at the cute little trailer teaser of it, it's, terrifying, but in a Chucky way. And I'm pretty sure it lights up and you eat out of his brain, and it's
They had this last year. Did they upgrade it at all? Because I think it's the same. It was available last year.
They're marketing it now.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pushing it harder, but it was there last year. I was tempted last year, but Chucky still freaks me out a little bit.
Chucky does freak me out. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
One of those things where no, thank you.
But
yeah,
bring him home and eat popcorn out of his butt or something. Yeah.
Brain, not his butt.
Oh, excuse me. Once again, I wasn't listening. Yeah.
Also, I know that Landon and Justin talked about this last week, but the 2 new scare zones that they announced, the Swamp and the Torture Fair, looks cool. So I'm really excited. Also, the Nightmare Fuel. Maybe one day I'll actually see the show, but I still haven't actually witnessed it. So. Oh, wow.
I mean, if you like fire and tight leather outfits and sexy dancing and occasionally some stunts, then you'll like it. I like all that stuff.
I mean, what's not to like on that descriction? Yeah.
It's not that I don't like it. It's like I'm still bitter about Bill and Ted's, I think. But like, it's okay. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But we did get 2 new scare zones announced, and then we got a tease, which I'll get into in a second. But 2 new scare zones, Duality of Fear, and Demon Queens. As soon as you enter Halloween Horror Nights, you must choose a path: the visceral horror of sinister or the unearthly terror of surreal. And then get caught in an otherworldly hellscape ripped from the darkest corners of your mind, where 4 merciless queens loyal to surreal rule. So that is the theme. Also, the scare zones are being set up currently at Universal, which leads me to they set up a Blumhouse scare zone where you can clearly see the BH logo, and then soon after they covered it back up. So Universal took to Twitter to like pre-announce it, but didn't give you any details.
No, guys, like, it's not Blumhouse. It's Broham. Broham's coming to Halloween Horror Nights this year. It's Broham. You know,
it's Bobby Hurley. It's going to be a Bobby Hurley meet and greet.
First, he turns down the Lakers, and now he's going to side with Universal.
Yeah. So that's what they did. Oops. But more. We'll announce it when we hear more. And then we finally got the final house that we have been anticipating. We all knew it was going to be a Universal Monsters house, but the official announcement has come through. It is Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines. The haunted house will be headlined by an all-female assemblage of classic Universal monsters: the Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula's daughter, She-Wolf of London, and the undead and mummified Egyptian princess, whose name I'm not going to even try to pronounce because I know I will butcher it.
And if you butcher it, she will curse you, Stephers.
I don't want it. I don't want it. The curse is real, as we already know. Guests will find themselves in the center of the ultimate battle between 2 unexpected alliances of the classic female monster, Universal monsters. Fans will encounter Saskia Van Helsing, a new fearless huntress and daughter of revered Abraham Van Helsing, who killed Count Dracula by driving a stake through his heart and destroying his reign of terror. Saskia now faces Dracula's daughter, Countess Maria, who arose from the dead to seek revenge for her father and destroy the Van Helsing bloodline. And there's a bunch of lore.
I'm excited for this one.
Every year, I will say, the last time I went, the timing was off, but I still think the house was solid for Universal Monsters. I think every year I've gone and there was a Universal Monsters house, I've always enjoyed it. So I'm really excited to see this executed. I think that this could be a really... I'm interested how they balance the gore, like the violence of it all, with the overarching storyline of it, because they are trying to tell like an impactful story with this, and not that they usually don't, but like usually it's like a 1v1 and not really like a story.
Yeah, I'll say the first Universal Monsters house I went in was more of like a hodgepodge. It was like a highlight reel of here's a Universal monster and here's a Universal monster and here, and now they like the next one I did was the Bride of Frankenstein, which I thought was amazing because that told like that movie story, which was cool. And then last year there was more of a story as well. Actually, the last couple years they've definitely tried to like use the properties, but tell more of a dialogue or a story as you go through the house, which I appreciate. I want to say, based on these announcements, it feels like this year at Halloween Horror Nights is going to be a real girl power year for Halloween Horror Nights. And I'm into it. Let's do it. Scary ladies. I'm excited.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some individuals that are going to be all up in their feels about this one. And we'll just leave it at that.
A really good time maybe to say, keep your hands to yourself. Don't touch scare actors.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah.
Just don't.
Yeah, don't do that. That's not nice. But also, now that we have all the houses, interested... like the rankings, have we changed what we're most excited for? Are we still like on the same level? I think the last time we ranked it was when the Triplets of Terror came out. So we haven't added Ghostbusters, A Quiet Place, Insidious, or Universal Monsters, obviously. So I'm interested. Landon, obviously you're interested in Finnegan's or, you know.
and Goblin Ding Dong. Don't forget. Goblin Ding Dong is number one. It's number one.
I hate it. No, I think I am not currently prepared to give my hype list. I'd like to work on that a little bit, but I think it would be cool for Landon to do it too, because I think from the perspective of someone who doesn't have any interest in going through the house, but thinks the stories and set design and all that stuff would be cool. I'd like to know how you'd stack up your top 10 as well, Landon.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So maybe we can do that next week, possibly.
And even for that activity, I will leave the Goblin Ding Dong joke at the door, Jay, just for you. I will take it seriously.
I just don't get it.
Or is seriously. What's not to get? Your Goblin Ding Dong.
Oh, God.
Did you finally get it?
No,
We'll talk about it offline. This is a family-friendly show.
I'll explain it to you when you're older. How about that?
Oh, jeez.
But yes, Universal stepping up their game. It's about to be that time of year. I will say they are not updating their website as fast as I want them to, because the scare zones are not like broken down on the website, and it makes me upsetty because I just like to have one little hub for all of it. But once we get more details on is that the last scare zone? How many have they done?
Yeah, I think that might be it.
I'll count, but like once we get more
Blumhouse, we got to get the official Blumhouse.
Yeah, once we get that, then we'll update you. But then maybe we could do a rankings based off of the scare zones as well.
I want to circle back, by the way. We made the Bobby Hurley joke, and I know we have UConn fans that listen to the show. Landon, Dan Hurley is the coach of UConn that turned the Lakers down. Bobby Hurley is the coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils, and he used to play.
Our bad. Yeah, sorry, our joke didn't land. Yeah, I guess, sorry, podcast over, guys.
I just don't
podcast over. Yeah.
I've posted like Tennessee basketball content in the Monorail fam group, and somebody was like, "Who cares? Go UConn." So at least we have one person out there who cares. Anyway.
Well, who cares? Go Vols. How about that?
Who cares? Go ET.
Go ET. Yeah.
That's all I got for you. I know
that feels more appropriate for what we're talking about right now. Yeah, but sorry, our joke didn't land.
It's okay.
Okay, so now while we're still in the Halloween and scary, spooky event vibe, we do have one little piece of SeaWorld news, and that is that Howl-O-Scream this year at SeaWorld Orlando, they have 5 houses. They've had 5 houses ever since they've done it. They only have 5. 4 of them are going to be new this year, and 3 new scare zones, which is very exciting because last year only one of the houses was new and all the other ones were repeats from the year before. So I like to see SeaWorld stepping up the game. Having a conversation with Cocktail Bob, like before this announcement came out, he said he might not even be interested in going to Howl-O-Scream this year. He said last year he was disappointed because everything was basically the same, including their show that they do in the theater. But they're refreshing it. There are going to be new themed bars this year as well. So they are giving it a nice new fresh paint of coat. And keep in mind, it costs like $30 to go to Howl-O-Scream. And the times that I've gone, yes, you can get like VIP passes to get front of the line access for Howl-O-Scream. You really don't need it. There's 5 houses, plenty of time to get through the houses multiple times if you wanted to. And visit all the bars and scare zones. Like it's a fun time, and you're getting a lot of value for that $30, $40 you spend to go to Howl-O-Scream. So I still stand behind it's a good event. And if you're into the Halloween haunted events, if you haven't been, I would recommend giving it a shot. It's good value for your dollar. The end. Howl-O-Scream runs select nights September 6th through November 2nd.
Nailed it. We did our duty as the official podcast of SeaWorld.
That's right. We mentioned you, SeaWorld. You are welcome. Okay. News is done for the day. It is time to get to our feature presentation. And again, we decided to do this because we're lunatics and we like to do this tedious homework when what we're just here to do a fun podcast. And like, let's give ourselves like jobs to do when we're not recording. But no, Landon, last week we were talking about after hours events, and you had mentioned that you feel like an after hours event at Hollywood Studios is a better value than Magic Kingdom because all your favorite attractions, it's more Hollywood Studios heavy. So that being the case, it made me kind of think about that. And I was like, if we were to rank our top attractions across all of Walt Disney World, how would they stack up? What would be in our top 10? And of course, because we love college football and we're getting ready to go in the month of August when college football officially starts, why not do a top 25? So we've individually done
go
that.
Vols.
Yeah, go Vols. Once again. But no, we've individually done that. We've ranked our top 25 Walt Disney World attractions. And I'm going to, on our social media, on the Monday Morning Monorail family Facebook group, Monday Morning Monorail fam Facebook group, and on the social media, we'll release like our composite score. So what I'm going to do after we talk about our individual rankings, I'm going to do a little math, and I'm going to re-rank them based on an average between the three of our individual ranks, so that we'll have one Monday Morning Monorail top 25. I'm also going to assign scores to the theme parks based on what attractions are like ranked in the top and the bottom, and we'll see how it sort of shakes out. Will it hold true? Maybe for Landon, maybe for this whole group, that Hollywood Studios really gets the highest score? We're going to find out. And I'm excited for this discussion because before we started recording, we were just kind of chatting about like how we all approached it and what got left off the list and that sort of thing. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this shakes out. So let's see. We are already an hour into the show, so I don't know that we necessarily have time unless we sort of do it. I guess we could do it quickly, just go like 25, and then we can kind of give our thoughts after we go through each section. Should we do that, or should we just do top 10? I'm going to leave it to you guys. How do you feel?
I say we go like 25 to 10 real quick, or 25 to 11 real quick, and then we go 10 to 6 and then 5 to 1. How about that? And then once we get like inside the top 10, we can kind of have a little bit of like round robin discussion. Does that work?
Yeah, that works. All right. So, who would like to begin? Steffers, do you want to, or are you still editing?
No, I just did it. No, I just finished.
Well, how about this? Since I shot my fat mouth off and created this whole homework for all of us, how about I start this?
Okay, go for it.
Does that feel fair?
Landon, you're on the clock.
Okay. All right. Number 25, Mickey's PhilharMagic in the Magic Kingdom. Number 24, for the first time in forever, a Frozen sing-along in Hollywood Studio. Number 23, Toy Story Midway Mania in Hollywood Studios. Number 22, Slinky Dog Dash in Hollywood Studios. Number 21, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad in Magic Kingdom. Number 20, the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular in Hollywood Studios. Number 19, Pirates. I'm just going to call it Pirates because I'm not going to get into Caribbeans at Magic Kingdom. Number 18, Rock and Roller Coaster in Hollywood Studios. Number 17, Expedition Everest in Animal Kingdom. Number 16, The Three Caballeros in Epcot. Number 15, Star Tours in Hollywood Studios. I just did Star Tours, right? Number 14, Soarin' in Epcot. Number 13, People Mover in Magic Kingdom. Number 12, Muppet Vision 3D in Hollywood Studios. And finally, for this segment, number 11, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway in Hollywood Studios.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I have so many thoughts already, but like I'm that's exciting. This just goes to show
I
you.
stunned everybody that the Frozen sing-along made it, didn't I?
Yeah.
Stunned everybody.
Just goes to show you
That
how
show's
personal
dope.
and subject it is. It's wonderful. It's a very fun show if you haven't seen it. Okay. Very good, Landon. Okay, we'll get to commentary later, but Landon has dropped 25 to 11. Steffers, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay,
I can
do
go
it.
faster too. Okay, so don't at me at anyone. 25 is Walt Disney World Railroad. Because nostalgia. Shut up. Don't judge me. 24, Cali River Rapids. Don't at me. 23, guys, shush. 23, Space Ranger Spin. 22, Guardians. 21, Flight of Passage. I see your faces. I see your faces. 20, Frozen Ever After. 19, Expedition Everest. 18, Soarin'. 17, Rock and Roller Coaster. 16, Tower of Terror. 15, Grand Fiesta Tour. 14, Pirates. Please note, like 15 and above, it was hard to rank.
Yeah.
14, Pirates. 13, Livin' with the Landon. 12, Smuggler's Run. 11, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which I thought was funny that me and Landon both have that on the.
Yeah.
We both have Mick and Min at 11.
Wow.
Wow, there.
There's a
Steffers,
lot.
some choices were made. Choices were made, young Steffers.
There's a lot outside the top 10 that I'm just like, wow. Okay. All right. I mean, amazing. Okay. All right. Here's mine. It's so funny. By the way, we'll talk maybe after we do this about how we approached it. But like you guys are mentioning some, and I'm like, oh, I totally forgot about that one.
Oh yeah, Steffers dropped 2 that was on my also receiving votes, but didn't make the top 25.
All right. Okay, I'm ready. 25, Dinosaur, Animal Kingdom. 24, Living with the Land, Epcot. 23, Walt Disney World Railroad, Magic Kingdom. 22, Slinky Dog Dash, Hollywood Studios. 21, Big Thunder Mountain, Magic Kingdom. 20, The People Mover, Magic Kingdom. 19, Star Tours, Hollywood Studios. 18, Spaceship Earth, Epcot. 17, Test Track, Epcot. 16, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, Hollywood Studios. 15, Frozen Ever After, Epcot. 14, Rock and Roller Coaster, Hollywood Studios. 13, Kilimanjaro Safari, Animal Kingdom. 12, The Jungle Cruise, Magic Kingdom. And 11, Expedition Everest, Animal Kingdom.
Sorry, how are half of these in your bottom?
Who hurt you, you monster?
Wait till you hear. I got a good top 10. I'm excited about
No,
it.
you don't.
I do.
You don't. No, you don't.
And you're 11 to 25. What are you? I'm tired. Anyway.
Okay,
we're doing
I
6 to 10.
quit.
No, so listen. So like while I was doing this, I brainstormed. Essentially, what I did, I brainstormed all my attractions just off the top of my head, and then I was going like doing one-on-one matchups and going between these two. If there was no wait and I could only ride one, what am I going to do? And then I would sort of like sort the list that way. And I went down. It took me way too long to do this. So I feel very comfortable that personally, subjectively, my top 10 represents my feelings. It's weird because I never, if you would have asked me, I never would have had the People Mover that low. Ever.
Nor should you.
I wouldn't have Spaceship Earth that low. Like there's so many, but
Should you.
there's a lot of great attractions at Walt Disney World. That's the point. There's a lot of amazing things. And Living with the Land all the way down at 24. I would, anyway.
You're uninvited to Living with the Land.
It's still on the list.
Barely.
Yep. All right, Landon, why don't you do your 10 to 6?
All right. Number 10 is going to be Flight of Passage in Animal Kingdom. Number 9 is going to be Jungle Cruise in Magic Kingdom. Number 8 is going to be the Kilimanjaro Safari in Animal Kingdom. Number 7 is going to be Living with the Landon in Epcot. And number 6 is going to be the Tower of Terror in Hollywood Studios.
Okay. So out of your 10 to 6, only one Hollywood Studios attraction.
Well, it was interesting when I was I'll just go ahead and give you a little bit of a tease. My top 10 was very light when it came to Hollywood Studios. But if you noticed, leading up to the top 10, Hollywood Studios was very heavily represented.
Yep. It absolutely was. Steffers, 10 to 6.
I'm so upset. Number 10. Sorry. Gotta clear my throat. I'm getting a little choked up. Number 10, Rise of the Resistance. Number 9, Kilimanjaro Safaris. 8, Test Track. 7, Space Mountain. 6, Haunted Mansion.
Nice. My 10 to 6, I've got a couple that are in sync with you guys. But number 10, my number 10 is the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Wow, thinking very highly of Indy. Okay.
I love that show.
It's a great show.
Number 9, Festival of the Lion King, Animal Kingdom. So 2 shows back to back. Number 8, Pirates of the Caribbean, Magic Kingdom. Number 7, Might be a shock. Already this high. Tiana's Bayou Adventure, Magic Kingdom. Number 6, Space Mountain, Magic Kingdom. So 3 Magic Kingdoms back to back. Tiana's, I was sort of curious when I was making my list where that was going to fall in. And I will tell you this, everything else set aside, I would never have put Splash Mountain in my top 10. I enjoyed that ride. There was a lot of nostalgia. I thought it was a fun ride. For me, it would have been in the top 25, but Tiana's, I weighed a lot of things like the animatronics, the music, like the feeling that I got from it, like everything about it. Like I said, I am much more likely to ride that ride because I enjoyed the experience so much, and the special effects, that the technology is so cool, than I ever was Splash Mountain. So yeah, there it is. Number 7 on my list. Landon, I know it's not on yours because you for your list, there were 2 things you mentioned, and one of them was if you hadn't experienced it, you didn't do it, right?
Yeah, so Tiana's Bayou Adventure wasn't under consideration, nor was Tron Light Cycle Run under consideration. And also, if these attractions currently weren't up and running, they were not under consideration. So I know you both mentioned, I believe, Test Track. That Test Track, in case you haven't figured it out, is not going to make my top 25. If Test Track were up and running, it definitely would have had some representation in Epcot because that is a killer attraction.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's on the injured reserve right now, so why would it be in the top 25?
Mm-hmm. I came at this list looking at it. These are attractions, assuming they're all up and running, not going through maintenance the day that I'm there. I can go see these attractions today with the caveat I've already experienced them, so I can speak to them,
Yep. So you stand on business. We'll bring it back.
I do stand on business.
All right. So for the top 5, do we want to do it like just one at a time? So like Landon, you do your 5, Stephers 5, and then my 5.
I like that. We can kind of discuss that. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's do
All right.
it. All
So
right.
I will throw
for
out my
Landon.
number 5. You already threw this out, and Jay, you and I are big fans of this, and I was surprised to see it come up where it did. It was still high for you, but I feel it was a little bit too low. Number 5 is going to be Festival of the Lion King in Disney's Animal Kingdom. You've said it, and I will co-sign on it. It is the best show on property. If I could only do one thing in Animal Kingdom, it's Festival of the Lion King. I could literally scan in, go right to the theater, stand in line, see the show, and walk right out. I would say that was a good day in the Animal Kingdom.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing. So you've got, is that 3 total shows in your top 25?
I believe so. PhilharMagic, 4 if you count PhilharMagic.
Oh, PhilharMagic,
Frozen Sing Along, Indie Stunt Spectacular, and Festival of the Lion King.
Nice. Okay. Very good. Stephers, what's your number 5?
Big Thunder Mountain.
Oh, yeah. Way up there. Okay. So it surprises me, Stephers, that you've got that one so much higher over Rockin' Roller Coaster. I don't know why. I expected Rockin' Roller Coaster was going to be higher. You know what's funny?
I am surprised it's above Space because Space and Big Thunder are very like neck and neck for me. Mm-hmm. So it depends on the day,
Okay, very interesting. My number 5 is Tower of Terror, Hollywood Studios. At one time, I would have told you it was my favorite attraction at Walt Disney World. And I would say on any given day, it could move up or down the list a little bit. But yeah, still amazing. I hope that it never, ever gets overhauled. And, for its anniversary, did you see that it got like some aesthetic upgrades? They enhanced the lightning strikes on like the burn marks in the lobby of the hotel over the elevators. That's really neat. Nice. Okay. Landon, number 4.
Number 4, well, you just mentioned Tower of Terror. You and I were one pick off on that. But Tower of Terror is in Hollywood Studios. For my number 4, we're going to stay in Hollywood Studios. We are going to go Rise of the Resistance. If it's in A mode, heck, even if it's in B mode, it's still pretty good. But when it's in A mode, it is a technological masterpiece. And being able to experience it on day one when everything was working the way the Imagineers intended it to, before, they shut down the cannons that went back and forth, before they had to implement, safe measures just to make sure people could get through the attraction if, Kylo wasn't working the way he was supposed to. It's incredible the way this attraction works, the way it does, and the story it tells. It's so dang fully immersive. Rise of the Resistance. I mean, and now that it's on standby, and I've seen posted standby times that are manageable.
Yeah, reasonable.
I love that. Like Rise of the Resistance is just such an incredible attraction, and it's an incredible experience. And you go to Disney for those experiences.
Absolutely. Stephers, number 4.
People Mover.
Nice.
All
You're
right.
gonna find out that my top 5 I think are gonna be hot takes here, but that's fine. People Mover, I stand by it.
No, I mean, I love it. It's like I said, it shocked me that it was so low on my list. I'm just glad I got it in the top 25 at 20. But yeah, no, it's great. I mean, my thoughts on People Mover, it's a consistent experience. You can ride it regardless of the weather, as long as it's not broken down or anything. It's a nice breeze. It's beautiful views of Tomorrowland. It's just it's so good. So good. You ride that thing at sunset with the sun going down behind the castle. It's just like, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss, wonderful. My number 4 is Flight of Passage, Animal Kingdom. I legitimately think that it's, an absolute e-ticket. It's an experience that you really can't get at any other park. Like, it's such a unique experience. And now that they've cleaned up the projection and aligned everything, it's the with 3D glasses, everything's crystal clear again. And, if you kind of give yourself to the experience and don't do what I do, which is I like to look around and look at the different levels of people and all that kind of stuff, just because I think it's interesting. But I have purposely in the past sort of almost put horse blinders on, and I'm just going to look dead ahead. I'm just going to feel the wind, feel the spray of the water, and I want to feel like I'm flying. And if you really want to immerse yourself like that, it's so good. It almost gives me goosebumps. It's very, very good. So, I don't ride it as much as I'd like, because the standby line is typically unreasonable. But when I do get a chance to do it, I'm always reminded. I wish I could just skip the little pre-show stuff, because I'm kind of done with that. But but the experience is great.
Totally agree. I too am over that pre-show thing. It's I don't want to hear that guy and fly ever again. But I do love flying on Flight of Passage.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good choice.
Thank you. Landon, number 3 for you.
Number 3, we're going to head over to Epcot for what I've said before on this podcast, and I'll say again, is the smoothest roller coaster I've ever experienced. We are going to go number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. I do have my gripes. I think this is long overdue to allow people to do standby in addition to virtual queue. But that being said, I love the theming, seeing everything that the NovaCore shows you before you get to the pre-show. I think the pre-show experience is really cool, being beamed from Epcot up to the Starship. I could do without everybody screaming "Day Drinkers" at Terry Crews and people trying to push their way through the pre-show doors to get in line to queue up for the coaster. But once you're actually on the ride itself, it is like nothing else that I've experienced. Plus, it's I'm an MCU honk. I love the Guardians, and it makes you feel like you are part of the MCU, at least for a couple minutes. And it is just such a smooth, fun ride. Love Guardians. That is something I want to do every time I'm in Epcot. Now, I know that's a roll of the dice when it comes to the virtual queue, and I can pay for the, what's it called now, multi-pass, single rider, lightning lane, Genie Plus, fast pass thing.
Plus.
there it is. Whatever Disney's calling it this week, that thing. But it's I love doing Guardians. It's such a fun ride, and the rotating soundtrack that adds rewritability to it.
Absolutely, yeah. Stephers, number 3.
It's your girl. It's my girl. It's the girl of the Epcot Ball Spaceship Earth. That is my number 3.
All right.
It's a good choice.
It's beautiful. We're all in Epcot for number 3. My number 3 is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Landon, I'm right there with you.
My man.
Yeah, I will consistently tell you, I think it's probably the most fun attraction for me at Walt Disney World. always come off with a smile on my face. It's, depending on the music you get, it changes the vibe of the ride. You said everything I want to say, Landon. It's great. And it should be standby at this point. That's really the only points against it. Otherwise, beautiful. It's no notes. I remember the first time I rode it, I came off Guardians and I was like, I've never experienced anything like that in a theme park. Mm-hmm. And that's what you should feel like getting off a Disney attraction. So,
yep. Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 2, Mr. Landon the Dosdone.
Number 2, we're going to head to a kingdom of magic, but this attraction is of the spooky variety. Number 2 is going to be the Haunted Mansion. This was in contention for my number 1, but if you're doing mental notes, you might know where my number 1 is going to end up being. But I like Haunted Mansion is just such a dang cool attraction. It is classic Disney, but it tells the story. The effects that they did back in the day still hold up in 2024 when everything else is using like CG screens and stuff like that. Like the Pepper's Ghost effect is just so dang cool. And I mean, Grim Grinning Ghost is just a classic theme park song. But I love Haunted Mansion. Yeah. So Haunted Mansion is going to be my number 2.
Stephers?
To no one's surprise, my number 2 is Figment.
I mean, it's a little surprise.
You say to no one's surprise. Okay.
You're surprised?
I just thought it'd be your number 1.
Well, no. Well, no. It would have been if there wasn't the extra rule that you added a little extra, so I added something else for my number 1.
Yeah, no, that's sadly Figment did not make my top 25.
Yeah, he was also receiving votes for me.
Yeah, that made me sad because I love Figment. He's my guy. I love the ride. I do wish that it would get a little more love. I love that you put it at number 2, Stephers. So thank you for representing Figment for us today. My number 2, Landon and I are simpatico once again. I have Haunted Mansion at Magic Kingdom as my number 2.
Bad boys for life.
Yeah, everything you said about it, I agree with. And I just think for me, Haunted Mansion is quintessential Disney. And I actually think one of the things I thought about with my top 5 was if you were going to tell people, this is my recommendation of an attraction you need to do to understand what Disney's all about. All of these fit into that. And Haunted Mansion checks that box with a giant green check. All right. Number 1, the big number 1. Landon, since this was your idea, I think you should be the closer on this. So we're going to go reverse order.
Okay.
So my number 1, already mentioned by both Stephers and Landon, Rise of the Resistance, Disney's Hollywood Studios. And this is a personal pick because Star Wars is just so significant to me. And it's like ingrained in my DNA. So I do think I mentioned Guardians of the Galaxy, I think is the most fun attraction in the theme parks. I think Rise is the best attraction in the theme parks. Obviously, that's why I put it number 1. So every day that I can ride Rise is a good day, especially if I get to have a Ronto wrap that day. But yeah, Rise of the Resistance, number 1. Even when a couple effects aren't working, I forgive it because I really feel like when I ride that ride, that I am in Star Wars, and that's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
most definitely. Yeah, fully immersive. Yeah. Most immersive attraction at Disney, I think.
Yep. Especially if you don't do single rider if you want the pre-show stuff. You got to skip all that, and I would never tell you if it's your first time riding Rise to go single rider. You got to do the full thing. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
All right, Stephers, number 1 for you.
Number 1 for me is E.T.
There it is. Yeah. Straight to jail, Stephers.
Listen, I went through the whole 25 and I didn't say one Universal ride. Give me that, okay? My number 1 is actually Happily Ever After. I think in terms of what you said of like if you were telling somebody like what Disney what Disney is about, I think this show is obviously great. When you said show, maybe you didn't mean fireworks show. I loosey-gooseyed it a little bit. But Happily Ever After will be my number 1. If not, then just ignore that. And Figment was my number 1. But I think Happily
No,
Ever After is worth a mention.
We didn't say you couldn't do nighttime spectaculars. That's fine with me. I
Still
approve.
technically a show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, Landon, close it out. What's your number one?
All right, to bring it home, since I was the one that started all this, I guess I should end this. If you've listened to us at any point, particularly over the last year, I don't think this should come as any surprise to you. We've talked about how much we love this. We've ranked it number one before. It is going to be, I actually have this written down on official podcasting paper, the MCO Monorail. Wait, hold on. I'm reading my list upside down. Let me turn it upside.
I'm glad you
Oh wait, my bad. It's Spaceship Earth and Epcot. Yeah, like it. That's my girl. She stands hundreds of feet tall, covered in jagged edges. Thousands of people are in her every day, and I just love everything about Spaceship Earth. And especially with the nighttime treatment that they've given her in recent years with the light shows and syncing it up to music. And it's like, just thinking about the Rainbow Connection treatment that they've given her. It's like thinking about it can make me cry. Actually watching it does make me cry. I love everything about Spaceship Earth. So that Jay talked about quintessential Disney. To me, that is quintessential Disney, is Spaceship Earth. Just especially the way it's there to greet you when you walk into Epcot. It's like, okay, we're going to have fun today.
Nice. Yeah. I like that. Spaceship Earth on top, as she should be.
Yep.
I'll say this. This was a very difficult exercise.
It was.
Yeah, because I did feel like it was insulting to some of my favorite attractions, to move them down the list at times. And, I look down at that. Like, I think a good example of that is the People Mover for me, or Living with the Land. Living with the Land was 24 for me, barely made the list, but
egregious.
I know. Well, but like I said, like when I did the measurement, if I was like, I can only do this one thing, that's where it slotted in for me. If you were paying attention, one of my biggest omissions was Muppet Vision. I did not have Muppet Vision on my list. We're all about
I wouldn't have pointed that out. I would not have pointed that out for your sake, Mr. # Save the Muppets.
Exactly. We're all about the # Save the Muppets movement. I love that show, and I'm not saying that it's not wonderful. I don't know. Like I couldn't see where I would put it. That and PhilharMagic as well. I actually saw PhilharMagic yesterday in almost an empty theater because Bob and I walked in there at like 9:05. The fireworks last night were at 9:20. We walked into PhilharMagic at 9:05. So we were part of the last people to see the show. Well, I guess the park was open till 10. There could have been more people. But anyway, there were maybe 20 people, and we're all spread out in the theater. So it was such a unique experience to like see it and hear it in an almost empty theater. It's wonderful. It's a great show. The Coco edition's amazing. Here's something I noticed that I've never noticed before, especially because usually there's a lot more people. They pump in like ambient crowd noise when you're coming into the theater. So it sounds like people talking. And then right before the show starts, it gets quiet. And I was like, now, why would they do that? I guess it might feel weird to be in that auditorium with it totally silent. But maybe the idea is they've got all the crowd noise and then they bring it down. And as you hear that, you naturally get quiet for the start of the show as well. I don't know, but I thought that was sort of an interesting thing. But anyway, that was neither here nor there. I just wanted to share it. What were some things that like you said, Landon, like that received votes but didn't make your top 25 that either surprised you or might surprise others?
Railroad was the last thing that got cut off my list because, I mean, if you've listened to Daz Does Disney and this podcast, I was counting down the days almost to when the railroad reopened and how excited I was that the railroad was back up and running and the first re-ride that I got to do on the railroad. And I think that is such a cool experience in Magic Kingdom. So it kind of pained me to cut the railroad. And it, like I said, was the last thing that got cut. Buzz Lightyear, Space Command, whatever. It came down to that or Toy Story Midway Mania because they are very similar. And I just think Toy Story Midway Mania pulls it off better. In my opinion, anyway. So that's why Toy Story got the nod over Buzz. Frozen Ever After, I thought about, but then it's like, I would choose to either ride every attraction or attend every show that I listed over Frozen Ever After. And plus, Frozen Ever After always has such a crazy long standby. So it's like Frozen's fun, but I'd rather do everything else. And then Figment didn't make my cut, and that pains me because much like Spaceship Earth is my girl, Figment's my dude. So I would also like to see them do some upkeep to Figment as well. Also, if you were paying attention, Space Mountain did not make the receiving votes or make my top 25. I understand why people like Space Mountain. Space Mountain hurts me when I ride it, so therefore was not in consideration.
Yeah, that makes sense. I love it, but I know others avoid it because of exactly that thing, or just claustrophobia or whatever it may be.
yeah, it can do a whole variety of things to you. It's like I ride Space Mountain, and then the next thing that I'm riding is a bench for like an hour.
Riding the pine.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Stephers, what was left off your list that pained you?
Oh, that pained me?
Or just that would be a surprise, either way.
E.T. Leaving E.T. off the list definitely pained her.
What probably is shocking is like Dinosaur didn't make it on my list. Slinky Dog didn't make it on my list. What did you just say that I was like, oh yeah, that didn't make my list either?
Buzz Lightyear or?
No, there was something
No, Buzz
else.
made her list. Space Mountain?
No, that made my list
No,
too.
Space was top.
There were no
10 for you.
shows in my list, but like I'm not a huge show person to begin with. What the heck did you guys just say? And I was like, oh yeah, that didn't make my list, and now that's going to bug me.
Midway Mania?
Well, that
Haunted
didn't.
Mansion?
No, that did. Anyway,
Okay,
I'll think
just
about it. I'll
double-checking.
workshop it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll workshop it. But those probably. I think Dinosaur. It just makes me nauseous. So like I couldn't bring myself to put it on. Star Tours, I haven't been on Star Tours since my youth, so like wasn't gonna make my list. I'm trying to think of what other park I missed. Yeah, no, I think most of what I wanted to be on my list was on my list, except for shows. That just because that's not something I'm not the type of person that like. If I'm go at Disney, I don't want to stop and watch a show. Fortunately.
So here's some things that I think all of us left off that I think is kind of interesting. Mission Space. None of us listed that.
No, thank you.
Peter Pan. None of us had Peter Pan.
Oh, dang.
Small World. Of course, none of us had Small World.
It's a classic, but I can do without.
Yeah. I had Soarin' at number 29 if we were expanding the list. I had Tron at 30 and I had Smuggler's Run at 31. So those were also left off my list.
I thought about Smuggler's Run, but it's like unless you're the pilot or you're with a good group, like I don't know if I can recommend like going back to what you were talking about on Rise. It's like if this is your first time on Rise, don't do Standby. If this is your first time in Galaxy's Edge, do Smuggler's Run. But if you've done Smuggler's Run, I don't know if I can be like, yeah, spend 40 minutes to 80 minutes standing in line for Smuggler's Run, because you are going to have to do standby, because if you do single rider, you're going to be an engineer. And I think being an engineer is a waste of time.
Yep. Agree. Unless you just don't want the there's some people who maybe don't want the pressure of like participating in either flying
that
the
is
ship.
True. That is true. Yeah.
And maybe they just want to ride. So I'm sure there's people who would actually prefer that. But if you want the full experience and you do want to play, you can't single rider. So, but this is great. This was fun. Maybe surprising for some. I think we surprised each other.
Jungle Cruise. That's the one that didn't make my list, but that was, y'all know, it ain't gonna make my list. That was what I was thinking about. I was like,
Interesting on my list, Jungle Cruise was one slot above Kilimanjaro Safari. I went back and forth on that quite a bit, but...
So you like fake animals over real animals?
Yeah. I almost don't even know how to explain it, but that's just how it shook out. I obviously had to do the head-to-head, and I made the choice. Jungle Cruise over Kilimanjaro Safari.
I feel like that's how it shook out when we did the bracket back in March for you as well.
I think that's true.
Also, don't anybody go back and compare what we did in our March bracket? Please do not.
Didn't Spaceship Earth win the whole thing? Well, the MCO Monorail.
MCO Monorail won.
Yeah, the MCO Monorail won the whole dang thing.
And I have no regrets.
Nor should you.
Come on. Well, anyways, this was fun. I know I apologize to my fellow co-hosts for assigning homework, but I think that it was fun. And I will, now that I've got the list, I will do the composite and we'll release the official Monday Morning Monorail top 25 Walt Disney World attractions and also the park scores. Oh, and I haven't had a chance to do this for you all, but just for conversation for me, my park scores, Magic Kingdom was in first with 109 points based on the scoring system. Hollywood Studios second with 95. And then it's a drop off. But Animal Kingdom with 68 and then Epcot with 53 is how it shook out. So a pretty big gap between Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom there. But yeah, the top two, I think. And that's really the debate. If you're going for rides, is it Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios? This is what we were trying to find out. And I bet, Landon's going to help us get some points for Hollywood Studios. It might be very close whenever we do the composite rankings. So we'll see. But good job. Good job all around, everybody. I appreciate it.
We did homework good.
We did it. We did a great job.
I did it right before class. So
hey, you still got it in under the deadline.
Yeah.
C's get degrees, baby.
It's true. All right. Well, that is going to do it for today's show. But before we go, of course, we have to do a round of plugs for all of the other things that we've got going on. Stephers, welcome back. Do you have a Sippin' and Bitchin' podcast coming out soon?
We do have our next episode. We took a week off because I was traveling, and respectfully, that sounded like too much work for me. We have an episode coming out on Wednesday, which is very exciting. We have this book that's coming out Wednesday, and then we have one other book, and then the new book comes out, so we get a little grace period for us to read the new book, absorb it, love it, list it, and ship it, and then we're on our way. We have been posting a lot on Instagram and TikTok, so highly recommend checking out Sippin' and Bitchin' on all the things. And if you just want to follow Stephers because you love her, or if you want to give me Disneyland tips, Adventures with Stephers on Instagram and TikTok, Twitter, it's Stephers, but ain't nobody, respectfully, looking at Twitter. But yeah, that's all the things that I have going on right now, and I'm still looking for a job, so if anybody wants to hire me, I will be here.
Stephers is here. Face. She's ready. Give her a call. Thank you, Stephers. Hopefully everybody's going to go out, check out Sippin' and Bitchin', and make sure you subscribe and give a 5-star review for the Sippin' and Bitchin' podcast. You got to do it. Oh, yeah.
And YouTube. We're on YouTube, too.
Check out the YouTube. Do all of those things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh, wait. Also, we updated the Morning Monorail website, so go check that out if you haven't already. I know we posted it, but, do it. You're listening? Do it right now. Give us a click. Check it out. Do the things.
It looks good. Stephers does great work. She's helping us out a lot, so thank you for all of that, Stephers. Landon also does a lot of great work. He works on the actual radio, and sometimes he even gets to host the show occasionally. Landon, you got any hosting slots coming up this next week?
Not that I'm aware of, but then again, the last time I had a hosting slot come up, it was one of those, oh yeah, Landon, you're going to be hosting here in the next 90 minutes. So so you should prepare. So,
it could happen at any time.
It really could happen at any time, especially with the talent that I work with. It could literally happen at any time. But follow me on Twitter, LANDOZ. Please go follow me, Landon Doan. I'm the best. Landon Doan, not the rest. You can follow me 280 characters at a time on Twitter. I also run a website, buttmunchchips.com. Buttmunchchips.
Sit on your butt and munch.
But in lieu of going there, head over to bonfire.com and search for Living with the Landon. That's where you can get your official, we'll call it official, merchandise for the Living with the Landon fundraiser that is going to be happening on April 1st, 2025, where I, Landon Doan, will be heading down to Epcot to celebrate my 40th anniversary anniversary. Well, I guess
life.
it is kind of an anniversary of life, where I will be raising money for Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee, with every dollar earmarked for the Food for Kids program. Every time I ride Living with the Land, I'm asking that you donate money. And every time I go round a said boat ride, you will pledge that dollar, and all that dollar goes to Second Harvest Food Bank. But if you head over to bonfire.com and search Living with the Landed, you can get some snazzy merchandise, and any money raised from said snazzy merchandise. We got 2 styles of t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got tank tops, and apparently 2 types of coffee mugs as well. That also past cost goes to Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee. So check that out. We also have a link from Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee if you just want to donate and do all that good fun stuff. So keep it locked here for the latest when it comes to Living with the Landon, and all that fun stuff. And head over to the website. We will have a link there as well. And follow along on the socials, particularly the YouTube. Go subscribe to the YouTube. We're trying to get to 1,000 followers there so we can go live on April 1st, 2025. So if you can't make it down for the actual events, you can join us virtually and, just hang out for a couple boat rides and the shenanigans, because myself, Justin Monroe, Stephers, I think, is going to be down there. The Smoking Hot Girlfriend may make an appearance as well. Other fun guests. Who knows what's going to happen? Living with the Landon's going to be fun on the bun, y'all. Spread the word. Spend your money for Second Harvest Food Bank. Oh, I also appear on the Phil Show, News Talk 98.7 WOKI, radio station locally here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Streaming 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at newstalk987.com. Also available on the iHeartRadio app, the News Talk 97 app as well.
You did
And
it.
scene.
You did it, Landon.
God, I need a cigarette. Thank you. Thank you. The crowd goes wild.
Well,
Do not try that at home. I am a trained professional, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, I don't have the lung capacity to pull off what you just did. So congratulations on that. But yeah, just to
I think I'm going to pass out.
reinforce, please subscribe to the Monday Morning Monorail podcast on YouTube. I did go to Universal Studios yesterday, and I got to see the Mega Movie Parade for the first time in person and live. It was wonderful. It was everything I hoped it would be. And I'm going to post the full video of that parade on the Monday Morning Monorail YouTube. You can't find that or see it unless you go look us up. And then if you're going to look us up, subscribe. You might as well subscribe if you're there. Give us a like on the video, subscribe, do all those things. And if you hit the bell once you're subscribed, it will notify you when you go live. Just so you know, we are now using some new software, a new cloud platform to record the show, and it gives us a lot of interesting capabilities. I'm just going to say, I want to get to 1,000 absolutely before Living with the Landon happens. If we don't, I may have a way to go live, but I can't guarantee it. I cannot guarantee it. So if you want to be sure to have live look-ins, if you can't be there live, help us get to 1,000. That would be fantastic. Also, we have a group over on Facebook, the Monday Morning Monorail fam. We'd love to see you there. We've had a couple new members join. People are interacting, like new faces. It's really good to see. I appreciate that. We have a Discord, and there is a link to the Discord on the Facebook. But if you don't want to do those things and you just want to follow us on social media, you can do that at Morning Monorail on Twitter, at Morning Monorail on Instagram, and please visit the website, morningmonorail.com. We got a lot of stuff going on out there, and you know what? More to come as we sort of move forward and grow the podcast and conquer the podcast landscape. That's the goal anyway, is to conquer the podcasting landscape. I do want to give a shout out to one of our favorites, Donna. Landon, last week you asked if people had given us a review before on Apple Podcast, maybe to go out and refresh that podcast. Donna always comes through anytime you ask for something like that, and she did go refresh her review. 5 stars. She said, super fun. Hi, guys. Keep up the great work. All 3 of you are so much fun to listen to, and also you always come through with the best theme park information, from funny to serious and beyond. You all 3 do such a great job. Thank you for all you do, and much love, Donna. We love you, Donna.
Yeah, love Donna. Thank you so much. Donna is my favorite member of the Monorail family. If you want to be my favorite member of the Monorail family, do what Donna did. Head over to the iTunes store, give us a 5-star review. And if you have given us a 5-star review in the past, go over there and refresh it. It helps the algorithm, helps get the podcast in front of eyeballs and earballs.
Yeah. Appreciate all of you. Thanks so much for listening. You know, I would love for you to do all the things that we mentioned here today, but if nothing else, and you're just here for the podcast and you show up week after week, we still love you too, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much for doing that. Maybe tell some friends. If you've got some theme park loving friends out there who are looking for something to listen to, recommend the show. We love to add people to the Monorail fam. There's plenty of room on this monorail, and it don't take no credit card to ride this train, baby. You can ride for free. But you guys are the best in the biz. We'll be right back here next week for episode 212. Until then, thank a team member, thank a cast member, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.